Hello everyone. I wanted to give a special dedication, special video for Nelson Mandela. It is his 10th death anniversary today. And I've said in many of my videos at different occasions that he is one of my personal heroes who has inspired me many times, even at the lowest moments of my life. So he's someone who I hold in huge respect. I do have a book. I want to show you this. I do have a book of Nelson Mandela. It says in the words of Nelson Mandela. I actually bought it from the airport in South Africa, and I haven't seen this book in many places. The Long Walk to Freedom. There are a lot of books of Nelson Mandela easily available, but this specific book, I've never actually seen it in any shop after I did buy it in many years before. And there are a lot of things inside this book. I mean, Nelson Mandela talking about more than 100 different things, and each one is better than the next, you can say. And I did write down a few things to say today so that I do not forget. I didn't want to miss out on anything. So I just wrote a few important things. And one of them that I'm going to read out from the book. That is what he said at the Rivonia treason. I mean, the trial, Rivonia treason. It's a quite famous. For all South Africans would know about it. And I'm going to quote Nelson Mandela. He said, "I have fought against white domination and have fought against black domination. I have cherished the ideal of a democratic and free society in which all persons live together in harmony and with equal opportunities. It is an ideal which I hope to live for and to achieve. But if it needs to be, it is an ideal for which I am prepared to die." You cannot say something more powerful than that. I mean, that's something that gives goosebumps to a lot of people, even me reading that now. I didn't want to miss any word. That's why I read it out exactly like that. I've famously said about what Nelson Mandela did at the 1995 World Cup, Rugby World Cup, when he wore Francois Pina's jersey. Rugby was seen as a white sport, and after 27 years in prison, he came out and he wore the Francois Pina's jersey. That was like embracing rugby, like embracing the white people. And after that, South Africa did win that World Cup as well. They say it was the Madiba magic. And South Africa united a lot after that. I mean, that's some place where he used sport, and he used to love sport. I've also said it in one of my videos that he said once that sport is a language that the youth understand. And that was I don't think it has ever happened in history where someone has united sport like Nelson Mandela did that day. And I remember Francois Pienaar saying as well, I mean, this is a man who spent 27 years in prison and he came out on a big stage. He could have worn the most expensive suit, but he chose to wear my jersey, and that shows the greatness of this man. And I've written down a few of the quotes. Let me read. The one of them that I've written is the true character of a society is revealed in how it treats its children. I've mentioned in my videos how much Nelson Mandela has loved children, and that's what he said about children. Then he said about discipline. He says discipline is the most powerful weapon to get liberation. Then obviously sport is a language that the youth understand. I've already mentioned that. And there's another thing which he said, very true. That's something that I know out of my heart. He said, all things, many of the things, let me quote it exactly the way it is. It always seems impossible until it is done. That is so true what Nelson Mandela said. A lot of things we do, we think like it's impossible, but it seems impossible until it is done. So that is another inspirational quote from Nelson Mandela. And another thing he said, a part of India's soul resides in South Africa. He was talking about the great Mahatma Gandhi. And then he also once said about Mahatma Gandhi, he said it would not be right to compare me with Gandhi. None of us could equal his dedication or his humility. And there was another thing I've also mentioned in one of my videos, that he was a very good boxer and he did like boxing. And he has said that his greatest regret in his life is that he could not become the heavyweight boxing champion of the world. He was a very good boxer in his young times. And another thing that he said, it's a very inspirational quote as well, which is very true. He said, if you are in harmony with yourself, You may meet a lion without fear because he respects anyone with self confidence. And that is a very true thing about being in peace with yourself and having self confidence. And another famous thing that he said was that he said, "A winner is a dreamer that never gives up." So to all the upcoming children, I mean youngsters, whether it's sport or whatever you do, that is something you will always have to remember, never give up. And at this time, I'll probably like to say what Sachin Tendulkar once said. I mean, a kid that I was coaching sent it back to me when I was a bit down once for a change. Tendulkar once famously said, "Chase your dreams. Dreams can come true, but make sure that you do not find shortcuts." So Mandela and Tendulkar talking about dreams. And I also remember Nelson Mandela once he shook hands of Andre Agassi when he was having a very difficult time in '97, and he complimented Agassi on his game, and he said, "Andre, you have to be careful with your lives. You have to be careful with your choices." And Agassi said, I mean, once you hear those words from Mr. Mandela, you can never unhear them. It's very true. The choices that you make in life, you have to be very careful with your lives, with your choices. And another big thing, what he said, he always gave a lot of emphasis to education, and he said education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. That is very true because without education, there is nothing that we can do. You need a lot. You need education to refine people. And another great thing that he said, one of the greatest things probably he said, is that may your choices reflect your hope and not your fear. That is some inspirational quote, and it's so true because a lot of people, when they make choices, it does not reflect their hope, it reflects their fear. And you cannot make choices in life based upon your fear. I mean, there's only one life, and that's my personal motto as well. You have only one life to live. You have to believe in what you want, and you have to go for it. I mean, if you fail, at least you know that you have tried your heart out, but you do not get a second life to experiment. So whatever you believe in, you have to go for it, and you have to back yourself to win. I mean, that capacity should be inside you to not never give up. I mean, talking about giving up, I can suddenly say a quote where Michael Jordan, the great basketball player, Chicago Bulls player, number 23, said, "I have failed over and over, and that is why I succeeded." That is a very great quote from Michael Jordan. And another one that I can say from the back of my head is Gary Player, the golfer, said, "The harder you practice, the luckier you get." So these are, and there is another one, try, try, try until you succeed. So these are all quotes about not giving up. And I want to say, the day Nelson Mandela died, I wrote a tribute for Nelson Mandela, and it goes like this: a grace that surpassed the meaning of the word itself, sincerity and shrewdness that never combined like before, authority and humility that never went hand in hand like before, forgiveness and love that put shame to the word hatred. The world should know that there will never be another Madiba. That was my tribute to Nelson Mandela. Anyway, 10th anniversary of Nelson Mandela. I mean, there aren't a lot of personalities like Nelson Mandela who can give strength, courage, hope, who showed reconciliation. A lot of things he has shown. I mean, 27 years in prison, he could hardly move around his prison room. And for that dedication, that commitment that he had, I mean, and the first quote that I read about the Rivonia trial, I mean, that shows how much someone really believed in what he wanted. And that is the kind of commitment, that is the common kind of dedication and willpower that you want the new generation to live with. Because a lot of new generation people, a lot of phones, cell phone games, and reading habits less. So these, I hope these all would be inspiring to the youngsters to read more and to read about the old legends. I mean, people like Nelson Mandela, Gandhi. There's so many people that you can quote, and you can learn from. And trust me, they will inspire you when you are down, when in your lowest moments of your life. You need people like that to bring you up, because life can is, like they say, life is not a bed of roses. There's always stages of your life where you will come to a pause, so you don't know what to do next, but something, there should be something, that energy inside that would drive you up, and it's people like Nelson Mandela who would drive you up. Anyway, that's it, my tribute to Nelson Mandela. Hope you have enjoyed it. And thank you, Nelson Mandela. Thank you, Madiba, for everything you have done for South Africa, for everything you have done for the world, for everything that you have done for children, and for inspiring people generate through generations, and for personally inspiring me. He's someone that I really wanted to meet, but it doesn't matter that I didn't really meet him, but his words, his life inspires me even today. So thank you, Madiba, for all the memories, for all the inspiration, and you will continue to live across Africa, across the world in people. Thank you. God bless you.